Ready?
Yeah.
Steady?
Go. Welcome.
Welcome back. Bit of a slow intro.
It's been
Been a
a
while.
while, yeah.
Yeah, almost fall out of practice every time. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. Weird games here, doing weird things, right? Starting out weird. That's how you know you're on a with Papa Weird.
And Weirdling.
That's you. All right.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that's me.
didn't get friends down. They're all the way up there. Oh gosh.
I'm gonna use the
Rough.
force. Ooh.
Ooh. Exactly how that worked. All right, and where'd all my other friends go? Oh, they're over there. They're all put away. Sure, I'll bring one of them down.
Box.
Sure.
Only Ben Barian.
Yeah. I wouldn't say he's my favorite. He's gonna stay over here with Vader though. All right, just for a second. Okay, look. Oh, they're pals. Is he gonna stay there? I should have played with this earlier. This is a great idea, but horrible follow through. Oh.
I think you need a shorter pencil.
No one needs a shorter pencil. I got them in the box there. That's the point. They're all used up. Carry him, Bear. You are doing a bad job. No, he's not. Look, we're going to be at this for 28 minutes. Do things. Show. Oh, we have, because we came to the end of the book, right?
Oh, yeah, we did.
We got another book. Same as the last one.
Which book is it?
This is the old book. All right. So, where were we? Right at the back here. We did like 3 rooms. That's right. We're in the soupy...
Grayness,
right? Oh, we already did that, right? That was the other... Yeah. So the soupy grayness, that was our void, our empty...
nothingness void?
The empty nothingness, yeah. I'm sure they'll be able to manage to get across, right? They'll, like, yeet grappling hook across, or they'll go back and build a bridge, or have magical means of flying over and stuff.
They're just gonna use Ultra Hand to just put a bunch of logs together.
Okay.
And then just make a bridge.
Someone will have big bees or something like that by now, I'm sure, right? There'll be a bard with big bees doing all sorts of smart stuff and solving everybody's problems. Okay? I mean... See, this is our restroom, which looks almost identical to our spider room, except for
the lack of spiders.
Yeah. Well, in the first one, yeah. Otherwise, that's too many spiders. It gets to become a theme. Yeah. So there's our spiders. It was 9, right? I think I got 9, 2, 4, 6, and 3 more. All right. Yeah, sure. I reckon. Did we write down what it's going to be there, like to see these things? Because I think it's going to be like DC 25s.
Because they blend in with the soupy glue.
Yeah. It's going to be very, very hard to see them here. Though you will be able to sense them if there's because you're going to give it away with stuff like you'll have to do spider webs in the lead up, like on the way. There's sort of like a couple of spider webs here and there, and maybe 1 or 2 like little spiders. Because that's how you sort of lead into it. You can't just sort of you walk into this room and now all of a sudden you roll initiative because spider suddenly, right?
No.
It's a bit unfair.
They should just have one character. Like, say the one at the back, I don't know, the one with the lowest movement speed, or like the one with at the front, just getting a spider web to the face.
Well, usually it'd be like the first person goes ahead with the highest thing to see all of this stuff and spook him. And you usually want to put them at least 60 feet ahead, because like 60 feet is where you can get your dark vision. Yeah, I know some of them have like 120s and longer, but dark vision for 60, right? So you can at least see the lead person, even if it gets dim or dark light, right? That's also enough then for the other person. Like they should be able to get back if they use their move and their action to dash, right? So they move and dash, okay? So they can get back within 60 nearly everything. Some can get even further, like monks and barbarians, right?
Yeah,
they're fast.
Is like 60. So get it here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's a sizable enough area, and these things weren't medium, they were large, right? So they actually kind of sit like this size. They fill up a lot larger space within that, not just the 5-foot cube, right? Yeah, sitting there ready to drop on them.
Say there's like a bunch of party members over there just
Well,
huddling up.
That's where it would be.
together.
Say everybody fails. The first person goes through who everybody trusts, right? And then this one time they fail, or they can't get 25. Like at this point, with having someone with expertise in survival or expertise in perception or something like that, yeah, either one of those could go forward and track or be used to identify paths and stuff like that, right? So, and those with expertise, they probably have it like +7s to +10, depending. By this point, right? They're all level 12s, aren't they now? 11s to 12.
Still 11s.
Right.
Hang on, are we
Well,
halfway through the month yet?
Yeah, sure. Like that's the thing. I think 11s to 12s. They're
that's-
going to go 12 here. So I think at the end of leaving the house, right? So they get out of the graveyard.
That one's the 14th, so that's the day before they level up.
Well, I was sort of, I'm not sure whether it's meant to be here. You're right. You could decide whether it's at the end of the household before they step into the darkness. So they've dealt with all the stuff here and they've explored it, and as such, that's their okay. Before you go on, everybody have a rest. You've all leveled up now. Do your thing and step out into the unknown grayness. Because
then we would
you
have
know.
to add more spiders.
Well, did we set it for 11 or 12? I can't
11.
remember. Well, no, it's okay then, because then you can just add more. You're right. On the day, you might decide to add another 4 or 5. Like if they're trailing, 3 or 4 henchmen at this point who've managed to survive, a prisoner, was it a cave giant?
Yeah.
The small one, right?
Rabbit.
Run, yeah, and rabbit peoples
And the tiefling
rescue
family.
some. Yeah, like, so you never know, right? How many people you've got still traveling with you. You have to play with these dynamically, right? Anyone would have to do that as you plan
This
through.
campaign would be very hard this campaign would be very hard with a bunch of murder hobos in the party.
Well, if they've decided to kill everybody, then it's just on the stock items that they've got.
Yeah.
And even then, they've got quite a mass of magical items that they probably they haven't decided to sell on or whatever. Well, by the start of the game, it's going to be pretty hard. That's the thing. Okay, so you started the game clearing out the prison, okay?
Yeah.
Right? Now, on the orders of it's just the Crown who sends the adventurers down. It's like, your job is to clear out the prison. And they're like, well, what about the prisoners? And it's like, well, the Crown would be like, they're not our prisoners. They're obviously bad people, not our business. We just want you to do the job. However you clear it out and whatever you get them to like get out of there, then that's fine. If you want to rescue people and they're good people, then that's fine. If you rescue some horrible criminal and they cause a problem, then you're responsible for that, right? That might be a whole mission of go clean up your problem,
Go clean up your level 20 barbarian that wreaked havoc.
No, well, it would have been like the arsonist. You let the arsonist out and you felt really sorry for him. You never found out that he was an arsonist until, yeah, that's right. You didn't read his file in one of the cabinets and he didn't give it away and didn't get an opportunity. And so, you just let him out and he just goes up to the township and then like 1 or 2 days later tries to burn everything down, right? So that would be your responsibility because you didn't vet, you didn't go through and adequately presume who is going to be dangerous or not. So the party could, in their right mind, deliberately be murder hobos and be like, we're going to take a stance that if you're in a cell, then
you're dangerous.
Whatever. And if you're an elf and a guard, then you can either surrender and be placed as our prisoner at the minimum, or at least worked out, whatever. But
I feel bad for the half elves.
That's what I mean. Well, the half elves, that's where it is. Like the half elves could really probably, again, protest their innocence. And if the party's been doing the right thing, then they could be given an opportunity to be like, oh, all of these half elves are obviously like, they've received this racisms and stuff like this bad situations. Let's let them all out and give them a little hamlet. We feel sorry for them, right? That could be legitimate.
Yeah.
But then there's that one half elf is legitimately a criminal, right? So
the one of the half elf ninja society.
Sure. So you gotta take responsibility for that, maybe. Who even knows?
Anyway.
Until all of a sudden, yeah, that's what I mean. Look what you've done. We've gone back in time. Who knows who's traveling with us? Who knows how you're going to play out these numbers? The only thing I know is that book's finished. All right, that book is done.
No. Before we after we get through the woods, that's when they should level
green
up.
Tea break here. If you'd like to do it like that.
Before they, reach the boss and stuff.
Sure, if you'd like to do it like that. Well, the boss and stuff essentially will come from the 20th on, right? And it won't be so much as a singular boss. We're going to be designing like a subbreed. Wait, yeah. Well, a coven's witchcraft. This is more like a subbreed. It's more like a den or a hive or what did some of them call them? Different words have been used for stuff like that. Not so much as a squad, but anyway, we'll deal with that later. But that will be then give us 10 days to introduce a number of people, I suppose, a number of different vampires and put them in there.
The vampires and the bros.
You'll see where we're going with this. I've got a couple other things that will be either people that will help the vampires other than vampire kin, right? So we're going to be able to flesh it out with a few other things. But anyway, let's move on. That's all tomorrow's problem. Okay, we finished our book. Close that one up. That's the second book. Oh my gosh, half a year.
This isn't technically half the year yet.
Almost. Right. What are we at for episode? It's 47-ish. Wasn't it? I wrote down earlier, something like that. I can't count. I can't remember. All right, it's a haze. Now, where are we? Okay, so I have planned out. I've seen where we're going, so we know where we're going. I was a little bit unsure because we were working backwards, right? We're still going backwards from where we were. That was the other thing. Go back to the book. After we left outside, we went backwards. We had the river, right? So we had so after the camp on the other side of the river, we had one of the banks. So the idea is, okay, let's get serious. All right, that's not the song, and I'll never do that again, I promise. All right, so instead of having a riverbank where you come down, right, and there's like water, because that's a blue pencil is obviously water, okay, and there's the party and their giant or whatever. Yes, it's flowing. Well, not really. That's how it was before. Instead, what we're going to do is they're going to be walking down into just marshland. All right, okay.
Like what is it called? The mangrove.
Yeah, we know it as like a mangrove swamp, although it's not like necessarily. And
down here.
And in over in the Isles, right, over in the UK, right, in places they have the moors, right. They have the moors.
In the UK.
No, well, I mean, like, they have different places where they have, like, swampy places. Like, what do they call it in Florida, where they have the swamp gators, right? They just call it swamp, I suppose, right? So this is what it is. We got mangrove swamps or whatever, right? But not necessarily mangrove trees, because they're very particular. And you don't want to be walking through. Have you ever walked through a mangrove thing and you've seen all the little spikes that stick up? Yeah. That's annoying. Okay.
We should just make it annoying. Just make them have to walk through
it's going to be annoying in its own way. All right. What this is going to be annoying more so is in the sense of, all right, because we're going back to Tolkien and taking from that. I mean, that's where it all started from. A lot of this stuff, right?
The Tolkien. Yeah,
D&D started from like wargamers who were doing wargaming stuff, and then they wanted more fantasy elements and role play, so then they made Dungeons and Dragons as a little book, and they took so much sort of liberties with like Tolkien's lore and that, right? And then they've gone backwards and forwards with the Tolkien estate for years on what parts they own or don't own and who can call what. But anyway, moving on, let's do our swampy banks, all right? So they're going to come out of the actual tree line, right? Well, what was the shadowy trees, right? Where they've been walking through. Shadow trees, yeah, okay. And they're going to get to where it sort of like just starts to get really wet. Probably a good 100, 200 feet back, it's already starting to get all sort of wet and traipsy on the ground. And moist. Yeah, a bit moist, right? So, and then they're going to find that like when they come out here, there's going to be like a little plateau part of very, very soft ground in an open area where it's about knee deep. They're going to sort of come out and it's sort of like going to, you sort of sink down into it a little bit. And it's only at about knee deep at that point, right? And it sort of extends out in a sort of circular bank out there, okay? And what they see is like
it like one of those salt like bank things? It's like half a circle and then half a circle, half a circle, half a circle.
Kind of. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, so sandbanks and that where you get down, yeah, and the water tide forms different levels of islands and stuff that pop up in different places. Yeah, exactly. Kind of, you will have that. We have an idea for an island and a bank. Yeah. Well, the idea then is between all of those, is little paths that join up these islands then, right? Okay, so the difficulty here isn't the spiky bits as you walk all through and just having whatever pathway through the swamp, is you're gonna have a fall off straight away into
bridge.
no, it's not. It's more like a knee deep, like a bridge, like a water bridge. It's going to be under the water. So you're going to have to get your 10-foot pole to poke into the water to find the place. And the person at the lead is going to have to like say, oh, follow me, and don't go off the side of these little 5-foot, 4-foot, 10-foot sort of, it shifts in the size. Well, it sort of moves and sort of snakes and is bigger in some places because it's just where the land rises up. And on
so in this section, you're practically blind.
Yeah,
Putting a 10-foot cane.
There's swamps everywhere and there's trees, like you would say, coming out of the mangrove, right? So you got trees that just come out of the swampy water everywhere, right? And if you can't see into the water how deep it is at any point. All you know is that you got to poke onto that bridge, that land bridge underneath the water there to get through, or else you're going to go off into this deep, dark, watery blackness stuff where there could be anything is living in there. There's barbarians living in there, right? And Gus is living in the water, okay, right?
Ready to poke toes.
This is where we're going to put some encounters later on. This is where you can put random encounters. This is where you can have like what you call false paths. Okay, so you'll get to a point and it's like, oh, it branches off, and so they follow one branch, and it's like, oh, this one just went on for, say 500, 600 meters. What's that? 1,200 feet or so, right? It just went on for a mile or more, right? And it's like, oh, now we got to double back because it ended up, and we got to go back and find the other one. And there might be like several of those, okay? And you might have ones where it's, oh, this one's starting to sink. We've stepped on it too long, or the water's rising, and like quicksand, we have to get back and save people, as a sort of skills encounter, more so than just like we could put that in this way to skills encounter rather than just a combat.
And this way to combat encounter.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This way you're going to have like hit the island, and you're going to kind of have one true path. And the idea will be that, they don't know where they're going, and they will have to follow it as like an unseen maze. This isn't a hedgerow maze. This isn't a traditional Minotaur's under the ground labyrinth. Yeah, this is actually it's labyrinthine, but this is more like just a water course.
Can
where
we
you
add skelly piranhas somewhere?
We have all of those creatures that I already looked into to bring up.
Every now and then.
You want skelly piranhas?
Just every 100 feet.
What would skelly? Is there even skelly piranhas in the book? You would probably take. I'm sure there's a piranha or something like that. A fish.
You just poke them, and then they just like.
Oh my gosh, and you want skeleton piranhas? I'll look at that. I'll have to come back for that one. Let's make a note on that. You want that? We'll find that another day, so we're not taking up. Skelly. I nearly wrote skelly tomatoes. All right, I don't know why. Okay, I'll write that here, skelly piranhas. Okay, so they come out of the misty woods into a misty swamp. It's all soupy. They can't see into the water. Every now and again, they see a big tree sort of growing out of the swampy waters. They'll have to get someone who, does the pokey thing and leads them through there. Sorry?
For the big trees, are we going to roll on the nature encounter thing?
Well, that's where we have, we do actually. Let's have a look what we got. This is just the entry into the swampy banks, because on the other side of the what we had here is we had the other side of the banks, right? We had two pages, two banks, right? So what we're going to do is put in the other side, which we won't get to just yet. What we will have instead is, like you said, look, islands. Somebody reckoned there was going to be islands. Let's put some islands in. Do I have a where'd my rules all go? You have my rules all. Very good. Yeah.
The
rules all comes from the ancient Leet dialect of Hacksaw and other such words that were developed in the early 2000s and thankfully forgotten. Okay. So they have islands. So they got this swamp, and they got this sort of winding path that's coming through the swampy underwater part, right? And we're going to get to a part where there's a bigger open place, and it's actually going to come out of the out of the water and rise up, so they can have a dry place. Okay.
Oh, dry.
But they gotta. This is where you're gonna have one of your encounters. You wanted a tree one.
Yay.
You wanted a tree counter.
Yippee.
Something planty.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Now, I have ideas for the planty encounters. All right, if we're gonna call them that.
There's
Planty account.
Planty account.
Yeah. Look, we got a demon oak, which is a CR12. Right.
Ooh.
We got a leeching willow,
And
which is a CR12.
Oak.
Yeah. That's what I said. Demon.
That looks like a
Daemon.
P.
That's a D. That's my D. What's your problem? Are you criticizing the way I write?
No.
It's my job to criticize the way you write. That's how this works, all right? There's a hierarchy around here. And apparently there's some other things called mage plants. You can write the CR down for those. And this one, Mayana, must be a plant-like creature, which you could have a look at. Now, so that we could have a D4 on that, or we could just sort of say, oh, leeching willow sounds cool. Damon oak sounds cool.
Was the D4?
And because they're the two of them. Look. There's only two of them. We're gonna do that. A bigger one on the island. Where's your flipper? Where's your coin? Where's the oracle? Yeah. Very good. Wait. You haven't done this for a while. Look, you can't even hold it on your finger. We haven't done this for a while. Calm yourself. All right, and have at it. But without killing any of us. Jeez. Heads will be one, right? A Damon oak. Go and have a look at that. Pull it up. We got a page 245 in that book. Now that's page number now, right? Okay, you got to change your video across.
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't forget that. Otherwise, we won't be showing anybody. Okay.
I'll just go to two. I'll just do 245.
Technical advising here. 245, and then scroll down a little. And I'll have a sippage of the fine green tea. Refreshing. Find it yet?
244. That's 245.
Is it not there? Go down a little bit. It might be after one of those.
246.
Did I not put it in there?
Or is this just the wrong book?
Hold on. Let me have a look. Up. My turn. My turn.
Would it be in
My
B
turn.
or?
I will have a look. What we do is we control, find, and try and get it like that. Right. Let me see. There, page 76. I'm not quite sure how that ended up being so far off in what I wrote down. Let's see. Then we come down. All right. So this is. There we go.
Oh.
Damon oak. All right. What do you reckon?
Yes.
Okay, something like that. Now, it's a twisted tree. Okay, that's what you wanted. Okay, it spawns thrall, so that's where it gets some little helpers and stuff like that. Okay, how biggy are the thralls? Challenge rating with the demon oak 3. So you would decide, you'd have this as the CR11 monster here. I thought it was 12, but look at that, 11. And you would place it with a couple of these. You could give it 1 if you thought you only needed 1. How many, what has it got here? Multi-attack. So I think you would give it 1 of these with at least 2 of these. You could put that into the counter, 11 with 2 3s. I think that's going to come back as a very difficult encounter, probably deadly encounter. But at the same time, it is only 4 actions. See, they got a multi-attack, which only gives them. Oh, hold on, let me see. It'll give them 5 actions. So they get two lashes and or a spew attack. Oh no, yeah. So they only get 2 attacks. See, and these ones only give them an extra attack each. So we're only getting 4 actions out of the economy there. So what's their hit point? And 161 hit points isn't much. That can be chewed through in a surprise round. If these guys realize, oh, big scary looking tree that is funky, glowing red fire embers out of it. I don't know, you know what I mean, right? They may give it away as to what it is. Let me see. Siege monster, double damage to objects and structures. Imagine picking one of these up and taking it somewhere. How much is their movement? Speed, 30 feet. Oh, they move quite quick for a tree. So yeah, all right. Let me see. A Damon.
I'll punch that in the the
Would you like
encounter
to?
generator just to
Okay,
see.
sure, you can go across. I'll write that one in
Number
there.
of characters.
Let me
Have they
see.
leveled up yet? Or?
Oh, it was in here. Oh, there is something else here called the Ordeal Tree, which was the CR12. That's why we ended up with that. We probably could have rolled a D3, but anyway, we'll stick with this. We could probably have one of these later on, if you'd like to. Alright. Let me write that down.
What level are they now?
You said...
12?
Did you, when did you say?
They went out of the forest.
Okay,
Other
sure, alright,
numbers.
sure, 12. Yeah, okay, very good. You can do that, I'll allow. Let me see. Damon. Oak. Alright, very good. CR11. Okay. With some of the thralls,
The
right?
tiny one forgot
Yeah,
to
we want to have at
close
least
the
2.
door.
I'd say at least 2, to be honest.
I mean, that's only a hard encounter.
Well, that's what I mean. You could probably try it. Get another one, see what it's like for 3. I'll just be back. I just got to close that door.
Three's deadly.
I actually can't. I'm all plugged into the mic. Let me see.
I think we could deal with doing 3.
All right. You didn't sing them a song, keep them entertained while I was away.
No.
You didn't invite them to share their philosophies with you. You didn't share your philosophies with them.
No.
Oh my gosh! I thought you meant to be an entertainer here. Let me see. Now I gotta put the whole microphone on. Trials and tribulations, people. We're already behind the clock. Are we behind a clock? We're behind a clock. It's not too bad.
What clock?
The clock. How many did you say? You want 3 of their
3 of them.
thralls. All right, okay, thralls times 3 with a demon oak. All right. This is one that we would probably look to. I'd have a look. Like I got the resources from the dragons. Some of these kind of creatures I was thinking about. We could probably add the resources into them if anyone wanted to harvest them for crafting, right? Considering they have a crafter that can follow them along.
Oh yeah.
You know, they might want to make a magical wand or a staff or a bow or something out of this. They'd probably have to exercise the daemon part out of the wood first before they could actually use it, because it may be cursed. All right, obviously, but
Just gotta chuck some holy water at it.
let's add some resource. All right,
Needed
very good.
or wanted.
Well, I do want them. I just got to go and have a look at the book where it's in, and I didn't get it ready for today. But I was just thinking that, like the dragons, it'd be good to add some resources in for a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting many items out of them, per se. So, here we are, this next one, right? Okay, let's move along. They clear the oak, they have the raised ground, and they can get a break in, all right? Everything's good and happy. All right, this is Ben Barian. He's happy, sitting there. Sure, chill out, my friend. Okay. We have Gus the Hermit. Okay, this is the only living person I wanted to have in here, okay? All right, an alive soul of neutral alignment who is all alone in this place. And
Is he gonna
may be crazy, all right? This is the thing. I was thinking that, like in... Just a second. Allow... Let me work through it. All right. Okay. Stay with me here. Aliens. All right. The second one. Okay. The little girl the little girl that was found on the planet, right, in the inside the quarters, was actually holed up. She was hiding, living in the ducting, and she was the only one. She knew about the aliens. She was only survived, and she was sorry.
What little girl?
That's what I'm saying. You don't know, right? The many viewers out there, they're all aware of who I'm talking about. This is Newt, all right? Okay, she was hiding, and this is what we've got going on here. We have a singular person still alive, absolutely paranoid. Paranoids for sure. All right, okay. For sure, but may also be crazy. All right, hiding out here. Okay. Now we don't know whether they're hiding out because they're a member of the family that was slaughtered at, you know, killed back at the manor. All right. We don't know if it's hiding from there, or whether they're escaped from the upcoming vampires, or whether they've escaped from what's beyond the vampires. Okay. But they're hiding. And they're more like hiding in like, and the way that Newt hid is that in the ducting, in the vents, she had a room where she'd pulled all of her stuff into and hiding away down there like a little mouse, all right?
What movie is this?
This is Aliens, I just said. The second one in the series. You think I'm talking about the aliens. I'm talking about the movie and the actual elements inside it. That's why you have to listen. Pay attention, all right?
I thought you were just talking about aliens in general.
I'm gonna talk about you in general in a second. Seriously, all right? You're gonna turn me into an alien. There's a kid in this movie called Newt, is a hermit hiding away from the aliens, and that's what we have here. Okay. All right. Now this doesn't have to be a little girl, obviously, but what we might do is, either roll for a race, or seeing as we're in the Grim Hollow world, and I got the book and I haven't pulled it out, right? Okay. We may as well use it to roll through one of their races, because they do have some races here.
I am ready.
I do not know. Let me see. Well, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We will see out of these 6, which of them there are. They also have a lot of the other normal races in this fantasy world as well, obviously. You can still play humans and elves and stuff like that. These are just the extra ones. The disembodied, I wonder what that's about. I think...
You made a character disembodied.
They were the teleporter?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, these ones were the ones that can just make a soul, and then they just become the soul, remember?
Okay, sure. Fade away on turn in action. Fade from the material realm, which is ours, but, you know, the fade from the ethereal realm, right? And disappear into the ethereal plane. Okay, so this is the opposite way. They move out of the ethereal realm into another material plane somewhere that you don't know, that you can't do. It's kind of the opposite, all right? They sort of switch it in this situation, right? And while they're faded away, they can't, because they can't stay on the material plane and they can't affect it, right? But then they have to come across. Sure. All right, sure. So it's the opposite of the fade away. So we have a disembodied...
Fade into.
All right, yeah. Well, this place is
Fade
sort of
towards.
like an upside down sort of version. Maybe they were disembodied from the original entity that created this domain. They're like the one prisoner that escaped, but it sort of ripped their soul apart. And they can kind of get back to their material plane where they came from. They can't really interact with it. They're sort of like seen as a ghost over there, even though it's real for them, because when they're here, they're bound to this realm. They're bound to the ethereal as a ghost, right? But essentially more alive than anything else, and neutral, right? So disembodied. That's from the Grim Hollow player handbook.
Wouldn't they be since they're crazy? Wouldn't they be neutral, chaotic neutral?
Sure, that would make sense. Or you can make them true neutral and just make them ultra paranoid and not trusting about anything. They don't have to necessarily be chaotic to be crazy. And in fact, a lot of what the people we would call the craziest have been meticulously well ordered and organized and capable logical thinkers, you know, right? So I would say, yeah, sure, neutral to chaotic neutral is fine. All right. And they're in that player handbook, right? Okay, sure. We want them to be able to give us a rundown on who originally was in the manor, and also who the vampires are or are not, or the nature of them, what happened, and also to talk about what's beyond the vampires, right, in the next month, okay? So they do have information. These guys are going to be like an exposition dump. Yeah. So whatever the people are like, oh, what happened here? Oh, what happened here? This person could technically tell them, but it's probably going to be on layers of trust, right?
Manifestation of the DM.
Well, I mean, like this is where he's still not going to necessarily give it away and tell everything, because they, like I said, they're going to be hiding. So in this area, okay, let's put all of their details off to the side. In this area, they're going to come to a place in the swamp where it's like a T junction, right? So it kind of goes one way or another way, okay? And one way is obviously a big dead end, but it leads on for a while, okay? So that way to a dead end. This in this junction here, there's like a trapdoor spider, you know?
Oh yeah, like one of
Okay,
those.
so it's like a bunker, okay? So that way up to the dead end. So we have a bunker here, okay, with like a trapdoor sort of look over the top. So it's been made out of all natural sort of environment sort of stuff, right? Yeah, dead creatures and bits of the shadow trees and whatever else of the environment is pulled together, right? And yeah, scaling bones, yeah, sure. Sounds like you're keen for some of them, all right? So it lives down in the bunker with a trapdoor, like a trapdoor spider on top of it, right? So can tell whether anyone's going to come, and we will have it. This one here, I would like it very difficult to see, and I'm thinking closer, not to 30, because 30 even at this point could be close to impossible, but 27s or 28s, all right? And that's either as a, no, it's all right, don't have to roll for it. This is where you're like, depending on how easy it is for the crew, right? Because you might have to make it a little bit easier and adjust it down. What if you got a horrible group that has no survival because they're all wizards, and no perception because they're all ignorant and selfish and have all insight or something, right? And charisma stuff. So you need to not make it whatever. And on the other side of that, this person could see them go up the dead end and come down and back again. You know, so there might be multiple times for that. This individual may want to make contact with them. You know, this is a big open area, okay? They got a big open dry area here, okay? It's raised out of the swamps, right? And they may just want to have a rest here. So the disembodied may want to try and, while they're having their short or long rest, go into the material realm and then pop back into the ethereal realm to steal something from them. And then, you know, because it needs to survive and it wants new things or interested, and then will disappear back into the material realm and come back and go and hide in its little hole, right? So you can do something like that.
Level 10.
Yeah, okay, sure. This is where you would probably make them. Yeah, you'd probably.
And blink.
Sure. You would want to at least have them at a relatively high level at this point if they're going to be interacting with people. So yeah, where do we write them down here? Yeah, level 10 to level 12 would be fine. But the thing is, they will probably not want to travel with them. They've escaped. They are fearful. They are hiding. They don't want to go back in. They, as an ally, other than giving information, they don't want to be one of the allies that wants to follow you and see the adventure through or whatever. They're quite happy in their hole because they're alive, and this is where they've maintained being alive for, you know, in this place, time doesn't shift normally, right? So it could be an eternity, could be 100 years, could be a decade if someone's have placed it here. Nobody's really knows exactly how much time has passed. So, well, that's a very good point. Yeah, no aging. Out of the other places, even in Gehenna, you would still age. I don't think you would age here. Yeah, very good point. No aging here.
Old.
That's a pretty good point. Because it is otherwise not necessarily the underworld, but kind of a place of death where life has been put on pause, right? I suppose that can be seen. Okay, moving on. Let's do that.
The only
we got a hermit. They're crazy.
Dead things.
They're disembodied. What do we have here? Okay.
Ruff.
Yeah, the guard dog. So I had the idea that in the swamp, other than putting all of those random encounters in and stuff, right, that we can just pull out of the book, or we can have monster of the weeks and stuff like that, yeah. What you can do is, I do want, at a point, it's going to be, the swamp is ending, okay? So, did you change the video back over? Oh, yes, you did. Look how good you are. Very good. Okay, so the swamp is ending here, right? They've made it through all the winding, twisting passages, like not passages, the you know, raised parts under the water that they can walk across. Okay, little bridges, little land bridges under there. Okay, they've walked across the land bridges under the water, and they've made it out of the swamp. They're back on what is sort of like dry land. It also is foresty, but not the same kind of forest as the other place. This place, it looks more like let me see how you'd sort of describe it, as like an orchard or like a gardens, a botanical gardens. The plants here are like more ordered, the trees, you would say, so you can see ish through them. You know, the soupy grayness is still there, but it looks kind of like you'd be passing a forestry, right? So the trees look more cohesive and similar. It looks like they've been planted for a reason in some sort of design, and it looks more like it's some kind of estate grounds is what you would say that you're coming onto, right?
A property ground.
Yeah, sure. Well, in Australia, what you'd call like down south, you'd have vineyard places, and you'd have the orchards and stuff in the like South Australia, Victoria, Tasmania. They have big places like this where they grow lots of fruit and have fruit trees and you know, right? Looks beautiful. Anyway, it's too hot up here for that. We grow cows. Anyway, I don't grow a cow myself, but anyway. Now we need a guard dog in here, so this is where we're going to go back and pick out one of the creatures from the
on the front of the Grim Hollow book. There's like a fire dog.
The monster manual one. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. The artwork throughout is amazing. I'd like the physical book as well, not only having bought the PDF. I'd like to actually own the book as well. But I only got the one. I didn't get the set. Let me see. I didn't think I'd actually have to plan stuff out. I was originally going to be doing. Yeah, these three here. So, let's cross that demon oak out. Okay. Let me have a look. We have done one of these before, did we? Oh, we did. What was that? Oh, that was a nether spider. Okay, so we were going to roll another d20 again, wasn't it? Let's find out what... Oh, actually, what I did want to put in, because these are all great random encounter ideas. What I did want to put in for the actual... Oh, maybe I'll leave those for later. Oh, there's too many options. Well, no, we'll go the d20 area out. Right, I'll have a drink while you roll a dice as we...
17.
You always make me count the big numbers.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Quoxary. Have a look at these things.
Page
Looks like we need multiples of them.
276.
From page 276. So a lot of these things I wrote down. I was like, oh, that looks cool. We might be able to use that. And then I almost instantly had it flow through my consciousness and out my brain hole. Right. So, how are you looking? Oh, very good. Punching in the numbers over at the click-clack machine. Have to scroll down, remember a bit. There you go.
Fox City.
There's a lot written about them. Oh, they look like guard dogs, don't they? Are they guard dogs?
Wolf.
Yeah, sure. You want some of those to guard?
Yeah.
Right. So they're CRs. What did I write down? 6 and 5 and 5 and 6. There's a couple of different kinds there, right? You can see, right? Well, you have to have a look at the calculation machines. You don't want to just put in 2 of each, right? Okay. We might have I think it's put in maybe 2 CR6 and 3 CR5. See what that kicks us back. What's that?
Still a deadly.
What's that? 2 at 6 and 3 at 5. What is it? Is it 2 at 5? Whatever, 2 at 6 and 2 at 5.
They have multi-attack.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. What's 2 at 6 and 2 at 5?
2 at 6 and 2 at 5.
Yeah.
Calculate.
Yeah, see what I mean? So this is where you have to decide how
Maybe
hard.
add
You
a-
said they got multi-attack. That's going to mean if we put 4 in, then at least that's 8 attacks around. I mean, that is a bit much if they
Oh, right.
focus a singular character, but we can't sort of account for that. That's not our business.
Okay.
So I mean, like, it can be your call how hard you want to make this for these people. I mean, like, it is the they are meant to be a guard dog. They are meant to be
Okay, 1,
stopping
2.
stopping any advancement into this area. You would probably make it that, you know, as soon as you kind of as soon as you make landfall here, as soon as you step out of the swamp, people are like, oh, thank God.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like that.
8 attacks.
Yeah. You see, so you got the Stand By Me where, you know, right, where you come out and it's like, oh, we're finally on, you know, dry land after walking through the swamps for so long, and they find the leeches on them, right? And they all have a big freak out leeches moment. All right, so this is kind of like that, but instead they step onto the dry land, and as soon as the first person puts foot on the dry land, okay, you set foot on dry land.
I think these things might be a bit
Uh-huh.
strong.
So what do you think? They're strong? You think 2 and 2 is enough?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Because if something's under half health,
Yes.
they get advantage.
Oh, okay. So if you pile on one person and the first couple get a couple of lucky hits in and that brings them down, then it only means that the rest of the hits coming from the other 2 or something is going to be even worse because they got advantage now.
And these things don't like the wizards even more.
Why is that? What do they do to wizards?
They have magic resistance.
They have magic resistance. This is great. All right, sure. So what do we got? We got multiple kinds in there. We want 2. We'll put 2 6s and 2 5s. All right.
Yeah, one of each.
One of each. All right. So what kinds we got? What are they? What colors? We got a. What are they? How do you spell them? What are they? QU. Or how do you spell these things? QUO Quoxairy. Is that how we're gonna say it?
Yeah.
Quoxairy. All right, sure.
Oh yeah, Dad. And the Grey
Quoxairies.
Quoxairy knows the health of all of them.
Oh, knows which one is particular. What is the CR on that one?
This one's the red one is CR6.
All right, so we want a red one. Okay, so we got a red at a CR6.
And it
all
has
right,
the aura of wrath.
and this is the lead one. All right,
Yeah.
and then we got another. Have we got another
If it's
CR6?
incapacitated, any creature that starts its turn within 30 feet of one or more red Quoxairies grants itself advantage.
Well, there you go. So we got a.
On
We need
attack
a. We got a
rolls
red.
until the
I think
start of
is there a
next
grey one? That's a. What
Yeah.
level's the grey one?
The grey one is CR6.
Okay, so we got a grey and a red at CR6. All right, and we got a black and a white.
Okay, the grey one has aura of death.
Okay, that sounds wonderful.
Provided
That's
the
my
grey
favorite.
Quoxairy isn't incapacitated, any creature hostile to the Quoxairy that starts its turn within 30 feet or one or more grey Quoxairies has disadvantage on death saving throws.
Okay, good. We want it to stick
Oh
around.
yeah,
Make
half
a.
the hit points creatures regain if they're hostile to the Quoxairy.
Hear the howl. All right.
So they get half health reduced.
So do you think this is going to be a significant enough encounter if they sort of, you know, you give them a bit of warning, right? Like I said, you sit foot on the dry land, and as soon as someone puts their foot on there, it's like they hear the, you know, the howl or the noise or the "Arr-hoo," right?
Or and then the white
And then they're like, oh,
Quoxairy.
I don't think you should have done that, you know, right? And then they're like, oh, quick, back into the swamp, you know, maybe the noise will go away. And it'll be like, no, it's too late. It's too late for that.
And then the white Quoxairy has the aura of sickness.
Oh, we love.
Provided it is not incapacitated, any creature hostile to it that starts to turn within 30 feet or more of 30 feet of one of the white Quoxairies must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or be poisoned.
Poison has its own issues, sure. It's not the worst, but you don't want it. You don't want it as a condition. It used to be a lot worse, to be honest.
Oh, and
Alright.
it's a disease carrier, so give it a disease.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do here is we've got one more room to go on. We have left them with enough incentive to not step on foot on land, but they won't know about it until they're there. They're gonna have to deal with it, right? I think it's significant. You're right. Giving them 2 and 3 would be too much. 2 and 2 sounds definitely a significant fight, right? Yes.
Oh,
Is it worse? Is there more?
The black Corsair
What does the black one
has
do
the
now?
aura of withering.
Okay,
Provided
sure.
it is not incapacitated, any creature hostile to it within 30 feet
That's
or more of it, or less of it, withers.
Mm-hmm.
If the creature takes damage, it takes an extra 1d6 necrotic damage. Plant creatures take an extra 2d4 necrotic damage instead.
Wow. There you go. These things sound great.
A creature is affected by... First time a creature is affected, the creature takes damage in the aura while at half its hit points or fewer. The creature feels horror, thirst, and hunger and gains 1 level of exhaustion.
See, this
If
exhaustion.
such a creature drops to 0 hit points in the aura, it gains another level of exhaustion.
Oh, this can kill you here. You can only get 6.
A creature can only gain 2 levels of exhaustion from any air aura. So say one has all of them have an aura on them, things could get bad real quick.
Sure, but I mean, like, they also can cause
This
exhaustion
aura
if they
kills
fail their passing of their spell.
non-magical plants in its area and damages larger plants.
All right, come back, move on from there. Okay, yes, they're threatening. Okay, let's not dwell. Okay, all right, you ready? You back? You ready?
I'm back.
All right, you're back. Okay. Now, so this is the tree line here, but what we're gonna have is the actual. This is where we're gonna have the old orchard. Okay. And by that, I mean, you are going to realize that this is a very large plantation that would have once had like apple trees over here and oranges and pears off in the distance and stuff like that, right?
Or the crumble fruit.
Sorry?
But instead of the fruit, it's just crumble fruit, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's okay. That's not a problem, yeah. The thing is that you're going to have in this entire, say there's a massive area here, right?
That's a pretty big area.
Sure. Because this isn't by 5s, 10s, feet or whatever, you know, like how much density we're trying to set for scale. This is closer to like a miles wide, right? This is like a large open area. So you're going to have different kinds of areas of the orchard, right? Like this would be the plantation over here where they do their apples and they have a barn. This is where they do their pears or whatever, and they got a barn over there or something, yeah? In between them, they have a large holding facility for when it's been done. You know, they might have a way to make preserves or something, right? And in the center, they're going to have like a larger building. Okay, so you're going to come down this road, the open way through the original part of the orchard, and you're going to come into a part where it kind of opens up, and you're going to be able to see even through the gloominess, you know, right? Probably several hundreds of feet, right, out to the front there. You're going to be able to see the building start to raise in front of you, right? That first one there. Okay, so this is where the orchard will be. This is the design, and we're going to be placing our vampire kin coming up from there in different areas. So there's going to be one who lives in the main house. Okay, there's going to be one that lives off on the northeastern side. Okay, that is what we are dealing with there. What we want to do first is set up like the entrance. Like I said, you're going to come down this road. You've gotten past these Quoxaries. You've walked for miles down this road, okay, through the orchard where you've seen trees of different kinds on either side, and you've gone to get the fruit and they've crumbled away in your hands, right?
Like
okay.
Always.
So yeah, so now it opens up and you actually see the actual property that they're going to deal with, right? So for this one here, I just wanted to decide whether we're going to put another threat in that area in general, or whether we wanted to just set the scene, right? So here we can just draw it up as a really large scale. This can be like our main map, and then what we will do is come back to it and be like, okay, that was the main house. The main house was this big, right? And at that point, each of these squares won't be worth 5 feet. They'll be worth closer to like 50 feet, right? 50 feet per square, not 5 feet, right? So this is where we can get a whole lot of scale out of this map here on this page.
You see, bunch of scale out of this map.
All right, so what we'll do is we will have, like I said, we're going to have a main house here. We're going to have like a warehouse that you actually do the work in, a production warehouse. We're going to
stealth
have
mission.
at least one other like barn here. We'll have another smaller house or workhouse off to the side, and what else will we have? This is where we'll come back to it. I just wanted to for today set the scene, and as we go we will add to this page. This page won't be drawn in and finished until the end, and then we'll be able to look back and say, okay, so this is what the orchard looked like, this is where Mr. Head Vampire lives, this is where Wifey Vampire lives, this is where Baby Boy Vampire lives, you know what I mean, right? We'll be able to assign some dens to these vampires when we make them up, okay? Because that's going to be tomorrow's problem. That's where we're at. Okay.
Tomorrow and the day after.
We've designed down into a swamp. Instead of crossing a river, they've gone into a swamp. Okay. They've instead of coming out of the swamp, they've seen a big tree. Maybe had a rest after that. They've found hopefully a hermit hiding under a trapdoor that may give them information if they can not kill them. You never know. They might want out. The disembodied might be like, I've given you all the information and I want only one thing. Now you too have to kill me, right?
Ooh.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
These guard dogs, which actually turned out to be, well, doggish, but far more scarier.
Undead horse thing.
Yeah, they're freaky looking with horns and such, right?
Yeah.
I like it. And an old orchard is the design of where we're heading, with buildings that they can kind of see as the setting, right?
I really want to see like a fight where it's like the apple orchard, right? And then it's just a vampire just like swooping down from one of the trees and then jumping to another tree.
Well, I was thinking about that. You want a flying one? That's not too bad, right? We can put that in there. Okay. I was thinking explaining how we're going to be doing this, right? We're skipping ahead, but I did want to have some form of flying vamp, and I'll explain how we're going to get there with that one.
Just
all
one
right.
that just jumps everywhere.
There's going to be one that flies. There's going to be one that's really quick and jumpy, right? Yeah, sure. There's going to be the big boy, right?
The big boy.
Okay, you can have your big fella. But anyway, we'll get in for that one for next time. Okay. Good ideas. That's a good place to start. Like the flying vampire you make as the wife, right? The big boy's what was the father of the family. But we'll make all of that up later.
The uncle or something. Anyways.
Well, you make one of the kids, the jumpy quick one. You make that like the kid, the same way they did it in what was it, Invincibles? What was that?
Oh, Dad.
That what was that? Yeah. Was that it? Invincibles?
Incredibles.
I know everything, right? 100%. I don't have old man disease at all. Yeah, sure. Let's leave it there, right? Let's not have foreshadowing. Okay. I think we've done plenty. Okay, we're gonna get into some bigger stuff tomorrow. I don't know if we're gonna be back directly for tomorrow. We've got lots of family stuff happening for next week. But that being said, we have a lot of meaty stuff doing if we're going to like make vampires up out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
And make them interesting. So we'll try for tomorrow. We'll see what we do. Otherwise, thanks for hanging with us today.
Yeah, see you next time.
Yeah, stay weird.
Do the thing.
Yeah, do the thing down below.
Comments and stuff.
Sure, no hassles, right?
And see you next time.
Yeah, see if I don't fall over the cables. Find the right button.
Your pillow fell.
Oh, it'll happen. All right, stay weird.